Are you tired of being rug pulled on every project that you jump into in the NFT space? Are you finding yourself lurking in Discords or Telegrams or any of the Twitter spaces and come to find out that all you were led to do is buy a very expensive JPEG? If that's you, then I've got a good lesson here at the Crypto College. That's right, my name is Crypto Chris, and I'm bringing to you today what I'm calling the anatomy of a rug pull. Yeah, right. The anatomy of a rug pull. And it's been said on multiple occasions to me whenever I'm in rooms, I'm in spaces, I'm talking like, oh man, if you're in crypto, then your rite of passage is you have to be rug pulled at least once. And that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case today, shouldn't be the case ever. You shouldn't have to be rug pulled in order to make it into the crypto space, into blockchain, into Web3, fill in the blank of whatever you want to call it within it. But and last video that I went through do your own research, which was my first episode. Thanks everyone for tuning in and providing feedback. I appreciate it. Be sure if you like these types of videos to like and subscribe and go check out the other one if you haven't seen my first video. But today I'm all about going into the anatomy of a rug pull. And let's define what that is. What is a rug pull? Well, simply put, that a rug pull is where you put money in and all of it or nearly all of it gets drained before you have a chance to even recover any of your money. Right? We're putting money into projects that are building us up saying, oh, this is going to be a wonderful project. It's going to last for years. And oh, we've got all these great things and blah, 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 blah. And you get to it and it just doesn't live up to the hype. It doesn't make it to the end goal. They don't deliver on what they say they're going to deliver. And it happens all the time. We are in a very, very fast moving pace within NFTs. It's a buzzword right now. Everybody wants to get into it. Why? Because there's a lot of money to be made. There absolutely is. You'd be crazy not to see it. You see projects that are selling out by the droves of 10,000 pieces, and how much money do you think that they're making? Well, on an average, they're making about 0.25 ETH, and that's fluctuating because of market conditions, of course. But at a time, maybe 2 weeks ago, selling 10,000 pieces or even maybe 7,000 pieces was netting on a gross income of $10 million. $10 million. That means there's a lot of money in this game to be made, and it doesn't take that much effort for some people who've been in this space for quite some time, and they're easily manipulated whenever people come in and manipulate them with the hopes and dreams of going up, 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 up in price. So today, I'm going to teach you a little tricks, tips, whatever you want to call them, but I'm calling it 8 steps of the anatomy of a rug pull. Let's take a look at this. The anatomy of a rug pull. We already defined what a rug pull is. It's basically where they pull the rug from underneath you, right? So they take it and take it out. Well, what's the first one? The first one of the is the hype will always exceed any actual use case or minimum viable product. It's going to be hyped up to death. It's going to go all the way. It's going to go crazy big, right? Oh, yay. What's number two? The people involved tell you what you want to hear versus having any real plan. They'll always crowdsource it. They'll always ask you what you want before they tell you what they're going to give you. So be careful. Number three is any plan that is available is a carbon copy of every other project in the same space filled to the brim with buzzwords, right? Let's talk about that one after a moment here, get through all of these steps, and then we're going to go back to the beginning and begin again. Then we have number four, which is smoke and mirrors are used to distract you from behind the scenes planning. They always want to put something big in front of you and keep everything all nice and structured, contests, giveaways, all of that, because they want to hide what they're really doing behind the closed doors. Five, there's always a celebrity who's endorsing the project that cannot be verified. Hmm, very true. Or, oh, we sent it to their wallet. Or, oh, look, someone else bought this NFT. This celebrity bought it. They're connected. Six is an Ask Me Anything is scripted And any person that wants to step up and say anything negative or ask any questions or hard questions is instantly silenced. Big red flag, big red flag. You have to be careful with those. Then, number seven, it's all about community and charity. The creators are not out to make any money. Hmm, that's strange. Where's all that money going then? Which charity? Who's doing it, right? Nothing is ever clear from anyone who is representing the dev team, and no one is actually doxxed. Wow. All right. So let's talk about those. Those are just the quick steps there. So let's go back to the first one, right? So those were quick and dirty. If you want to continue watching, please do. If you don't, just please like and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that bell at the bottom and watch for more videos that are just like this one. I'm going to continue on with the first step, though, that we talked about is that the hype will always exceed the actual use case or minimum viable product. What are the use cases? What are the use cases? What are the utilities that are being presented to you that are going to actually return on your investment? What are some of the utilities some NFTs are using today? Well, they're saying it's a membership into a club. Cool. Everybody's doing that whole membership thing, and honestly, that's amazing. You can quantify membership into your organization or into your DAO, into you can gate check someone into a Discord, gate check someone into a Telegram that they're an actual member of the community, which is amazing. I love NFTs for that reason, and they're super awesome to be able to do that. But if the utility that they're providing to you doesn't live up to the hype, meaning that there's no actual product behind that utility, they say, we're going to give you access to a place in the metaverse. Okay, cool. We're going to, do you have digital land that's bought there? Oh, no, we don't have it. And now we're working on getting it. It's actually quite expensive, so we don't have that ability to allow you in. It's just what we're planning on giving you in the future. Well, so then there's really no minimum viable product there in their utility because they don't actually have it yet. It's all something that they're putting towards on the future. It's all something that's going to give you in the not so distant future, they say. It's always working like that. But when we look at the second one, what do they say? The people involved in the project always tell you what you want to hear versus any real plan. So I've taken many different trips and detours into a lot of discords and a lot of telegram chats, a lot of clubhouses, tons of Twitter spaces, and the people involved in a project that is not well put together is always going to come directly out of the gate and say nothing of their plan except for very general statements like, we're going to build this and we're going to do that and we're going to give to charity. And they're talking about all these abstract ideas that they have. And then when you ask the questions of what are the use cases, what are the utilities, and they fall flat because their plan wasn't there, they immediately come out and crowdsource. And I've even seen it where they immediately come out and crowdsource about ideas of what should we build with this community? What should we build with this? Well, for someone that's a leader of a project, they're the ones coming out with the vision of what they want to see happen within the community. They set the pace, right? There's someone that's a leader within the community that people look up to begin with, or they have something to offer the community, which is why they were wanting to rally people behind them, right? So if they have that mentality of I'm a community leader, then they have to set the pace and they have to set the plan. Don't allow a community leader to ask you what you want to hear and then give you what you want to hear because all they're doing is using and preying upon your emotions to be able to get hyped up about their project. They want to build up, oh wow, they're really listening to what I'm saying. And not to say that some projects won't do that eventually as the time progresses, right? are engaged into a project and into the community, and you're saying, oh, you know what, we really like to see this. They want feedback, they want suggestions. But if they didn't have anything to begin with, that means they didn't have a vision for the project. And that's a big red flag to me whenever I'm looking at them. I want to know what their resolve is. I want to know what their perseverance is. I want to know what is their motivation to even begin this project to begin with. Is it about money? That's not a bad thing. Sometimes it is about money. But as long as their intentions are very clear in the beginning, then it won't be a rug, right? If I tell you, yo, guys, I'm going to launch this NFT and I'm not going to lie, it's about money. We're going to use that money in a liquidity pool. We're going to stake it into high yield platforms, and we're going to make, in excess of trying to make at least 1% compounding interest on a per day basis. And we're going to share those profits back into the liquidity pool of the project. And then we're going to set up a DAO to be used by that. And it's going to deliver those funds to other projects that all DAO token members holders, which are the people who have the NFTs, would be able to vote upon to say who should get what and also present more things. And by the way, yes, we're making a bunch of money. But if I'm very clear with those intentions in the beginning, then it's not a rug if you're like, well, wait a minute, what are you using all that money for? Well, I'm using that money to reinvest that money into other projects to keep the velocity of money going throughout so that we can continue on building things out for the community. That's the difference between somebody who is very well articulated, that knows exactly what they're doing, and's in this game for the long haul versus someone that's just trying to get your money, take it, and run with it. So if they don't have a plan and they're only wanting to hear what you want, then that's a red flag for me. And as we get into number three was any plan that is available, like they've come out and say, oh, here's our roadmap. Here it is. Roadmap, list of bullets. Here it is, and you can go take a look at majority of the NFT projects that are out there. They all have a nice little phase one, phase two, phase three. Some of them even have quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and they say exactly what they're going to do. And most of them are all just carbon copies. Oh, we're gonna build this in the metaverse. Oh, we're using machine learning and artificial intelligence to identify the best NFT projects to get behind and then automatically buy them, right? Or they're using the big plugs of saying we're going to buy land and we're going to host events, and oh, we're going to give you tickets to here, and we're going to give this giveaway, and we're going to do this charitable act where we're just giving money to charity, and all of those good things. And those are all well and good for the community, and the community should absolutely need some of those things. But what's the differentiator between this project and every other project that came before it? I said that in my do your own research. What are the differentiators? What is the hype builder that really stands out amongst all of the other projects? Is it the artwork? Okay, that is good. This is a place to get access to new artists, to see other things. But in the long run, it can't be just the art, because the art got you there. But what are you going to do with it? You're going to look at the picture all day? No, like there has to be something else in the plan of the community besides just a JPEG, right? It has to be some other kind of projects going on to keep the community engaged. If they're going to see any kind of real progress within that roadmap, it's going to take the community working together to make that happen. So don't be just the you fill in the blank NFT project. What is it that they have? And if they can't differentiate themselves from every other NFT project, then they're just copying. And you may be okay with a copycat, but I generally want something that's innovative. I want something that's real. I want something that someone sat down and thought of and really put pen to the paper and said, I want something different than anything that anybody's doing out there. And those are the types of projects I want to get behind. I don't know about you, but I don't want just another, yacht club thing with a punk in the name and all of those kind of things. I know those sell because it draws in that hype crowd, but it's just the same thing. Buzzwords, buzzwords, buzzwords. Metaverse. Oh, we're doing things of play to earn. You see these things in every single one. Oh, we're going to build a new play to earn game. Not everybody can do a play to earn game. And you know what? It takes quite a bit of time to make that happen. How long do you think it takes to build a play to earn game that's actually going to be worth anything in the next couple of months? Most of those places that are or projects that are building a play to earn mechanism game have a roadmap that goes about 3 to 5 years into the future. So what are you saying, Crypto Chris? I'm saying that if you're saying, oh, hey, this project's going to be around for 3 to 5 years, then why did they only purchase their domain name for a year? Does that mean they don't believe in their plan? Does that mean they don't have one? I don't know. You be the judge of that one. I always look at that stuff. So the number 4 was smoke and mirrors are used to distract you from behind the scenes planning. In all of these projects, it's always fast paced. It's moving at lightning speed. You've got giveaways, you've got contests, you've got invites, and you got to quickly just move around. And and if that's all they're doing is keeping you busy and primed up and grouped together so that you're all hyped up and bringing in more people into the community because it's a numbers game to them. It really is. It's all about numbers in sales. That's the normal sales tactics that anyone that's in sales and marketing use. If you see 100 people in a day, you're generally going to close about 10 of them, and closing 10 of them is enough to make what you're trying to make on a per day basis based on the product that you're selling. That's standard. So here in crypto and in NFTs, if I've only got 10,000 spots on the list and I'm bringing in 100,000 people, I'm hoping that I'm going to close at least 10% of them to then fill every single one of those NFTs that are out there. And it's going to go into someone's wallet, and I'm going to make an average of 0.25 to zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.5, whatever the price is for minting. And that's how much ETH is going to be put directly into the coffers of this project, right? I quoted that around $10 million, 15 million, seen 17 million, 20 million on just the initial minting alone of these projects. So there's absolute money involved in them. Make no mistake about it. And when they have you running around looking at all of the different things and shiny things that are going on within the Discord just to get you pumped up about being on a whitelist, and you don't really see much movement or transparency of what's going on behind the scenes of, can we see the contract? No, no. When can I see the contract? I don't know about you, but I have to look at the contract. I have to look at every single contract before I will buy a token, before I will mint a token, before I will do any of that. I always look at the contract, and I know it's not for everybody. Not everybody has a programming background that they can be able to pull it up and look at it and kind of decipher it. But that's why people in this space that have that skill have a responsibility to look at it and say, no, something's a bit fishy with this. Last video I went through Token Sniffer, and that's good for cryptocurrencies, but for NFTs, they're a bit subjective. They have a different mechanism to them. They have different functions that are built into it that are used differently than a cryptocurrency token, for the standard at least. So it's a little harder to be able to go through the contract and make sure there's no foul play. And if you're always distracted by other things, and they're not willing to give you purview or access into the smart contract, then that's a red flag for me. So the smoke and mirrors are always there to keep you built up while they are doing something else, making changes to what's going on, right? They said, oh, we're going to give you whitelisters. We're not going to worry about a gas war. We're going to give you all whitelisters a spot, and you're going to have enough time. And we'll allow you to go in. We'll give you a few days or 24 hours or whatever it may be. And then you get close to minting, and then they say, up, whitelisters, you only have 1 hour to mint. And you're like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? I thought you said. I thought, well, I mean, we gotta move it along, and this is what we gotta do. And meanwhile, you've got a community that's going absolutely crazy but there's people who are willing to forego any kind of security for themselves just so that they can mint and potentially 5x, 2x, 4x, like whatever on a flip for those NFTs that they're purchasing and they're minting. That you can't make money, not to say that you shouldn't make money in this game, but you do need to be very careful before you dive into something like that. Five was there's always a celebrity who's endorsing the project that cannot be verified. Verify everything. I trust many people in this world. I trust them because I listen to the sound of their voice. I hear if they're genuine, and I will follow what they're saying and go, yeah, oh, that sounds awesome. And I'll be there with them nodding and saying, yeah, that sounds great. But I'm going to verify what they say. They say celebrities involved, show me. Well, so and so tweeted about it. Okay, show me. There's a screenshot. A screenshot? You ever heard of Photoshop? If you can't find the tweet itself, that it comes from a verified account on Twitter itself, and it's got to have that check mark, right? That blue check mark. They don't have it, then they're not verified. They're just somebody who copied the name and used it, and because they can change their name to whatever they want on Twitter. And oh, so and so popped into the Discord. Oh, okay. You do know that you can change your name to anything in Discord, right? You sure can. So how do you know it's them? There's no way to authenticate it. There's no way to verify that they are who they say they are. They gotta pretty much do a video showing their face saying, hey, here I am. I'm endorsing this project from this dev, from this person, and I'm fully supporting of it. Here, I'm going to be minting along with you, all that good stuff, right? So make sure that you verify before you just jump in. If you can't verify that and they're saying there's a celebrity involved, that's just them name dropping. That's just them trying to get hype built up on their project so that they can sell more of those nice little pretty JPEGs. The six was, and Ask Me Anything is scripted, and any person who tries to ask legitimate questions to expose true intentions of the developers and all of the people involved in the launch are silenced. I've been kicked out of these Ask Me Anythings um, because when I ask a question, I can seem very direct. People that know me may go, oh, yeah, he sure can. But I have the best intentions of asking the question because I want to know the true nature of why they're launching this project and why, if I see things that don't make sense to what is presented on their website, to what is presented from the facts that I dig up by researching everybody that's involved into the project, if the facts don't line up with what I'm seeing, I'm going to ask and I'm going to bring it up. And one of those might be you've got a roadmap that says it's going to be 2 years, but you only purchased your domain namespace for 1 year and it's going to expire in 6 months. Or maybe it's going to expire in a year. They just opened up the website, they just launched it. Took them a day to be able to do that. And they didn't believe enough in their own project to spend the extra $20 or so to get the .io for just another couple years, right? So that is exposing true intentions. Bring that stuff up in those Ask Me Anything. You can check it out on any one of the domain age checkers that are available online. Just go to Google and type in how can I find out how long a website has been up and running, and it will pull up a list of them. You can choose it, put in the website, click it, and it'll tell you it was certified or bought on this date, has been up for that long, and it expires on this date. And that'll tell you if they really believe in their own project, right? That just gives you a ammo to go into those Ask Me Anythings. But if all they're only doing is allowing the hype to build up within all of these Ask Me Anythings and it's scripted and they don't allow anybody of real, I guess, opposition to say anything, then that should be a red flag. It should absolutely get that brain a going and going, what's going on? Why are they not wanting any question to be asked that opposes them? And they instantly get on the defensive. If they instantly get on the defensive and start attacking you for asking such a hard question, that means they're flustered. That means they've been caught off guard. And if they're caught off guard, that means they have something to hide. They're deflecting, they're trying to shift it away and minimize who you are and your thought process because it does damage their credibility. And that is why most of these Ask Me Anythings that are scripted and they don't allow other people other than specific people who are moderators to come on and ask questions. That means they're controlling the narrative, they're controlling the hype, they're controlling the sentiment that is in their Ask Me Anythings. And that's a big, big red flag for Crypto Chris. 7, it's all about community and charity. We're not in this to make any money. Then why the zero point 0.4 ETH mint price? Why the 0.6 mint ETH price? Why the 0.75 mint price? Because it's money. And like, oh, we're gonna be donating to X charity and this charity. And if you don't check whatever that charity is, and you don't see, and you can call them up, call up the charity and say, hey, this so and so says they're working with you. Is that true? Verify the length and time that that charity has been available, because anybody can go in and create a charity themselves and say that they're the ones that are the beneficiaries. And just like a bunch of other charities that only give pennies to the dollar on the amounts that they receive, so can people in this NFT space. And they can funnel that money directly into a different shell company where it says, oh, look, we gave all the money to charity. They did exactly what they said, but they weren't being exactly truthful of their intentions. So always verify those and always look at the intentions of those people saying they're not in it to make money. And the last thing here is that nothing is ever clear from anyone who is representing the dev team, and no one is actually doxxed. What does that mean, doxxed? It means that they are identified privately, private information, personal information is there. My name is Chris Cusick. You can look me up online. You can go on to the Google. You can go on to my LinkedIn. You can see who I am. You can see my affiliations. You know exactly who I am from that site. You can see the history of how long I've been available there. You can even call and get, employment history verification, right? You know I am who I say I am. An undoxed developer, an undoxed person, doesn't let you know who they are, and they throw out these things like, "Oh, I'm scared that of hackers." Well, I thought you were a developer. Don't you take preventative measures for you to be hacked? And do you just click on every link that someone sends to you? Which, by the way, you should never do that. Don't just click on every link that someone sends you, because that can get your wallet completely drained in this industry. So be careful. But nothing's ever clear because the devs are scared, and they say, "Oh, I don't want to receive threats," or some developers have been threatened because some people were upset about a project. Well, if they were upset about a project, it sounds like there must have been some kind of malicious activity done that perpetrated some scam or scammy type things, and then that should tell you something about the nature or the intentions of that developing team if they're always scared to be able to show their face, show their real name, tell you who they are, tell you who they're affiliated with, because it would damage their reputation. Well, if it would damage their reputation, that means they won't put their name to it. And if they won't put their real name to the things that they are working on, then that means it's a high probability, though. Not every time projects will have completely doxed team members that haven't done very, very well. So that is not 100% indicative of it being a rug. But when those key things come up, and I go through each one of these items in this list, and it just red flag after red flag after red flag after red flag, and then we see what happens. It's always something changing along the evolutionary pattern of what is to be delivered. to the public via this, you know, you know, project or whatever, we see all those red flags coming. It culminates into this big thing on the ceiling for me, and it says it's a rug. And I hate people being rugged. I hate it with a passion. I want everybody that's in this space to be successful, to be well armed with information that helps them not ever be rugged. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you take the time to learn what goes on. Ask those questions. Stay informed. Stay on the new information. Stay on the ways that people can use the blockchain technology to usurp or to take away from you, and ask the hard questions. Don't be caught up with your, oh, if I ask that question, I might not get whitelisted. So what? So what that you didn't get the whitelist? There's many other projects out there. They're dime a dozen, and they come up every other week. There's someone delivering some kind of project that has upward potential to double, triple, quadruple X, whatever funds that are out there if you play your cards right. Game is not for everybody. It's very volatile and it's very wishy-washy, and it can lead to you not recovering any of your money. So be very careful. Learn everything you can in this space and apply those 8 simple rules, and you'll go far. And in conclusion, I should say, I'd like to read one of my articles that I have on Medium. It was an article I read on a Discord channel, and some people didn't get a chance to hear the article, or at least hear me read it. And going to leave you with this. To obtain a bird's eye is to turn a blizzard into a breeze. It's one of my mother's favorite songs, and it's from a quote from Incubus. But I titled this article, Perhaps It's Perspective. When you change your perspective on the problem, like the proverbial bird, you find the problem begins to shrink as the flow of logic, reason, and sound judgment override the fear of the unknown. The truth is, you're a capable individual with unlimited information at your fingertips. So what's stopping you from changing your perspective each time you encounter a new problem? The thought of, I can't, that's impossible, I don't have time. These are often responses that our standard human emotions have been programmed to throw up when we hear those words that tell us you have to change or you have to learn something new. Other people may be dealing with an outside source telling them that you're not smart enough for that. Well, I have some encouraging words that I've applied to my life in the past, and it made a huge impact to me, and I hope it also does the same thing to you. Quit listening to only the words of naysayers, always telling you their right and only way of doing things, which worked for them years before. This is no dig to any of the trailblazers before, but please, I mean no disrespect to them. Their methods paved the way for improving upon yesterday, but it's absolutely up to you and me to pave the way for the future. Times are different now. The world is changing rapidly. The world of data is changing and evolving as our understanding of how we can use information, use data to our advantage also becomes more fine-tuned. Just because we've always done something a certain way doesn't mean it's the best way to do it going forward. I hear something like these words pretty frequently. This is the way we've always done it. Who are you to change it? I thought we were the music makers. I thought we were the dreamers of the dreams. When did the unquenchable thirst for knowledge and the unrelenting push to change the world become the lost appetite for innovation and creativity? Hopes and dreams die only when the ones with the visions and the dreams stop lifting up their voice, Stop making an effort and allow their idea, their dream, and hope to fade away. How many ideas have been overlooked because people closed their perspective off before giving it a second thought? How many dreams never took flight because someone told them that's not possible? When you look around your immediate sphere of influence, the people around you, do you see an overwhelming abundance of hope? And why not? I know times are tough, and you tell yourself every day, I'm going to learn that new thing that someone was telling me. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to learn it. Oh, I'm going to learn Python. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn Solidity. I just need to invest the time. The truth is this: there will never be enough time unless you make it. You owe it to yourself. There will always be a client who is waiting on you to send them a report. There will always be a deadline that requires your attention. And yes, it will always feel like everything was needed yesterday. That is an immutable constant like the blockchain that will never go away. It's solidified. It's like the word no. It's a constant negative response that carries a meaning of do not pass go, do not collect $200, or something like that. You hear it when you're growing up, and it just doesn't carry the same meaning. You hear it 100,000 times when you're a toddler, and the words do not resonate to your brain as a negative response. It's like the child thinks it's an acronym and stands for numerous opportunities. It's their perspective on the meaning of the word. I've spent a lot of time reading child psychology books and things to dig inside the mind of a child as I have two children, and I needed to understand more perfectly, to digress, to be put back into the mind of a child. And it's awesome how the mind of a child can comprehend and solve the most complex problems. How? They see things differently. They have a different lens. I'm telling you, you can have a different lens too. You can do something like getting together with a buddy or a partner that are teaming up on the same things and trying to expand the breadth of knowledge in that area, whether that's job shadowing, whether that's it's, hey, teach me this and I'll teach you that, bartering, bouncing ideas that you're working on, collaborating on improvements with those who are also working in the same area. Don't silo yourself away. Use different tools or processes that force you to learn something different. Learn all you can. What you learn today will undoubtedly pay dividends tomorrow. I guarantee it. Above all, write the things down that come to your mind. They're precious and worth holding on to for the future. I leave you with this final statement. To change your perspective can take as little as minutes to ask the questions. What if my way of doing things is not the best way? Who knows? You could be the spark that becomes a bright light to illuminate the dark or uncharted path ahead. Why not you? And why not now? This is Crypto Chris, Crypto College. Thanks for joining the Anatomy of a Rug Pull. Stay tuned for my next episode and watch and wait. And between now and then, for God's sakes, learn something and put it in the comments of what you learned. I want to hear it. Thanks, everyone.